What is going on, everyone? Happy Tuesday. I think today is Tuesday. I'm not too sure. Let me go ahead and actually double check. Yes, today is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Hope all of you are having a wonderful day. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Literally starting the stream a lot sooner than usual because of the fact that Bitcoin has now hit new previous all-time highs. We actually saw Bitcoin hit as high as $44,000. This has been freaking insane. I think the bull run has now officially started, chat. I did mention our goal should be focusing breaking past $45,000 and seeing how the market reacts. But to me, I think this is already a sign to tell us, the bull run is finally coming. Definitely doesn't mean you have to go ahead and be fully risk on right now, but right now that does also mean that there is going to be a lot of more people being willing to go ahead and trade a lot of these tokens that we typically talk about. So definitely go ahead and suit yourself. If you are now joining me on the live stream, go ahead and smash that like button for me, and let's go ahead and see how it goes today. Maybe we break past $45,000 on the live stream. I think that'd be a great way to freaking end this week. Even though this week has barely just started, I think that'd be a pretty cool way. Give me 1 second. For all those that are joining me, go ahead and smash that like button for me and let me know if we are officially live on my end. Happy, how's it going? Good morning. Hope you're having a good one today. Let me go ahead and pull out my live stream right here. Give me 1 second. Looks like we are officially live though. Yep, we are officially live. Awesome possum. Let's go ahead and get this up and running. Awesome possum. How's it going, Dwayne? Hope you're having a good one today, man. How are you doing today? How are you doing today? Go ahead and comment down below any project down below that you want me to go ahead and review. Smash that like button for me. Let's go ahead and see how it turns out. I am kind of streaming a little bit earlier. We're gonna go ahead and see if we can get some people coming in on today's stream. When will Pepe 2.0 pump with Bitcoin? Dude, that's what I'm really wondering. I'm currently up on my Pepe 2.0 position, but yeah, Pepe 2.0 is kind of slowly lacking down behind. Currently sitting at 22.47 million. The good thing about this is that it is going to give the opportunity for many people to go ahead and add to a position before we have this massive breakout. Remember how we talked about this literally yesterday, how we mentioned that if Bitcoin continues with this kind of momentum, I do think a lot of these meme tokens will go ahead and follow with some sort of bullish momentum to push these tokens to the upside. Also remember, Pepe 2.0 is being heavily freaking shorted. So the problem right now that we're having is that we could also have some sort of short squeeze coming in with Pepe 2. So I think right now with how Bitcoin's looking, not only is it going to bring more confidence into the market, but it's definitely going to also have to go ahead and squeeze out a lot of those shorts, pushing the price action of Pepe 2.0 higher than what we're thinking. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we just go ahead and hit 100 million market cap plus, and that'd be freaking amazing. That'd be a 10x plus. And that would be the start of something big, right? We'll definitely go ahead and enjoy the holiday season with some big money in our pockets to go ahead and enjoy. But yeah, Pepe 2.0 is slightly lacking right now. Pepe still continues to pump. I actually just made a video on Pepe. If you go onto my recent videos, I've actually just got back into uploading some videos. I don't know why, but usually my regular form videos like do bad now. Like they used to not do this bad. Like now they do pretty terrible, which kind of like I don't want to say it discourages me to make these kind of videos, but what I mean, they do pretty terrible, what I mean, compared to the live streams. The live streams are the ones I enjoy the most, honestly, and the ones I have the most fun, and actually have been growing the channel a lot more. And then my shorts are a little bit half and half. But I actually did just make a video yesterday or earlier today I uploaded, and I mentioned Pepe huge breakout, and it was actually following this cup and handle pattern that we were talking about. And I also mentioned how anything that's a derivative to Pepe original, whatever Pepe does, a lot of these like Wojaks, Pepe 2.0s are going to be following. Right now the only thing is with Pepe 2.0, the shorts are really trying their best to go ahead and push the price action down. So as long as we continue to get more momentum and more buying coming in onto Pepe 2.0, I do think a lot of these shorts are going to get squeezed out of their positions, having them close at higher positions, meaning the token's going to go up higher. So hopefully more retail investors start to go ahead and see the opportunities that's literally in front of our eyes. Pepe 2.0 is getting ready to have this kind of breakout. I mean, you saw it from here, you saw it right here, and we're in this phase where we're probably going to have a massive breakout either today or hopefully it's not today. I'm really hoping it's not in the next coming days, because I am waiting for another payout that I should be getting a couple $100 more, a couple more $100, and I want to go ahead and add to my position right now. I've already doubled my position, and if I could go ahead and add a little bit more to my position, I could literally make all my money back that I lost. This would be over a $20,000 trade for me right here. So that I'm very, very excited. But right now, I'm not complaining too much about Pepe 2.0 not pumping, because I do want to add more to my bag. So I'm like crossing my fingers that, you know, retail investors still don't catch on to Pepe 2.0. But Pepe 2.0 is slightly lacking down behind, and I do think that as soon as we do go ahead and get more people catching on, this thing's going to go ahead and pop off. But look, I mean, look at the volume right now. It's at $231,000. So volume has been picked up at least like 4x, so it's definitely a good sign. I really wish I knew what you were saying. I apologize. I really wish I was able to translate that right now. Let's see if I could do it. I'm trying to translate it right now. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I'm trying to use Google Translator, but give me 1 second. Oh, you just speak Russian? Well, I don't know Russian, so I wish I wish I did. I apologize. I really wish I knew Russian. If I knew Russian, I would have I'd be able to speak it, but I don't. I apologize for that. That's what it says right here, apparently from what you told me. So, I mean, we could try communicating like this. I mean, that kind of works for me, right? It's going to be a little bit difficult, but we can make it happen, right? Anything is possible here. Soul, how's it going, Soul? Dwayne, what are your thoughts on RFD? Addicted Marshmallows, how's it going, bro? Hope you're having a good one. I've been seeing a lot of growth with MLC tokens, so shout out to the team. What are your thoughts on RFD? It depends which RFD we're talking about. We're talking about the original RFD. I know that it freaking it dumped a lot. I don't know what it's like now. Let's go ahead and take a look at RFD. I mean, RFD could be one of those hidden gems, kind of like Pepe 2.0, where, you know, now it's at a heavily discounted price, and it could be a buying opportunity. The thing that you have to go ahead and be aware is that this thing has literally dumped like a lot, probably like over 99%. I'm not even going to go ahead and measure that. Liquidity is at 4.87 million, which is not too bad. The one thing that I would like to go ahead and focus on is on the volume. So if we do start to go ahead and see an increase of volume, like let's say we start seeing 100,000 plus of volume, I do think we could go ahead and consider buying into RFD. But right now it's at a it's really like, what else can you really lose on RFD, right? You're like, even if you're willing to go ahead and throw in a couple $100 or even $100, what are you really going to be be losing, right? Because in my opinion, there's more upside than downside, especially if we have this kind of bull run that we do have right now, that we're seeing in front of our eyes. I mean, $43,000 Bitcoin was not something I was expecting literally this week. I was expecting it within the next 2 weeks, but the fact that we've been able to do what we've been able to do, it definitely does open up my eyes a little bit more, and it does tell me that we are actually getting closer to that kind of bullish bull run that we've been waiting for, right? So I'm really excited to go ahead and have all of you here. I'm really excited to go ahead and make a lot of freaking money this bull run. And also don't forget about altcoin season, because altcoin season is really where a lot of the money is going to be made. If you do trade a lot of the altcoins and meme tokens, that's really where you and I are going to be making a lot more money, unless you trade Bitcoin, right? I don't trade Bitcoin, so you know, the Bitcoin hype is really not, it's really not benefiting me too much. I mean, we do see some tokens slightly pumping up and reacting a little bit more to the markets, but usually, you know, a lot of the meme tokens and a lot of the altcoins don't react too well when Bitcoin does pump. It's sometimes it's a slow delay, but really where the money's made is during altcoin season and meme coin season, where, you know, we can make thousands of percentages. Doesn't mean we can't go ahead and do that when Bitcoin's pumping. It just means that all the interest is into Bitcoin, and then we have to go ahead and cycle off into the interest going into altcoins and meme tokens. But looking at RFD, it does actually look like it is on MEXC. So if you want to go ahead and support the channel, make sure to go ahead and use my MEXC link down below. $20,000 in sign-up bonuses, no KYC, and literally takes less than 3 seconds to create an account. And that's one of the best ways to go ahead and support me. But it looks like you could actually go ahead and trade refund token right here on MEXC as well. I'm assuming it's probably a spot. Yeah, it seems like it is. And Orange X is the only one that does futures on it. So it'd be really cool if we were to see, you know, a refund token on MEXC using futures. That'd be really cool. I'd definitely like to be interested into, you know, trading that. But even with refund token, as I mentioned, these are levels that, you know, it's kind of worth throwing some money into, right? Like, even if you throw in $100, like, what's the worst that could happen? Like, everybody went through the worst. Like, there's really no more downside. I mean, if you look at the upside, that's about a 4,000% pump. And I mentioned that typically with a lot of these meme tokens, what we do go ahead and see is that we see some sort of reversal pattern, or it kind of follows this U pattern. And we've seen that with Pepe 2.0, right? We've literally followed that same exact pattern very similarly. I mean, look at that right now. Literally pumped and then it dumped, and I was trying to go ahead and recoup its way all the way up to its top one more time. So, and that's typically what we always see with a lot of meme tokens. So you either have actually 3 options to make money when it comes to these meme tokens, right? Either get early on right here at the bottom and you try selling the top, which is very difficult timing the top. You short the top and you ride the wave all the way down to the bottom. That's another way. And then the third way is waiting for this finally this bearish momentum after it's been slowly dying down to go ahead and have this pump back up to activate the token once again. So there's 3 ways to go ahead and make money when it comes to a lot of these meme tokens, and these are 3 ways: buying at the bottom early on, selling, you know, obviously selling the top, shorting it, and then riding the wave one more time as soon as you start seeing that momentum. And that's definitely what you want to be on the lookout for. So refund could be one of those hidden gems that could potentially go ahead and be doing something very similar to like what Pepe 2.0 is doing. It could go ahead and do it with refund. So it could be worth, you know, the risk, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of this is high risk. One of the tokens we're actually seeing right now pump very heavily is actually Grok 2.0. I've actually just made a video recently. I uploaded it today and I titled it "Grok is Done." And, you know, Grok was at very critical areas. I've actually recorded this video a few hours ago, and I just uploaded it about obviously 39 minutes ago. And I talked about how Grok is at some very critical areas on support, and we were actually doing pretty well on the Fibonacci retracement. As you can see, I talked about it on the video, and we are actually having that support being held, which is a really bullish sign. So for any of you that are looking to go ahead and enter a Grok position or are holders of Grok, congratulations. I do believe there's going to be some more upside to this, especially right now with Bitcoin pumping. I did mention we could go ahead and see a short-term pump all the way up to 300 to 500%, which is a 3 to 5x, right? And right now, so far, we have been holding this area of support on the 618 Fibonacci retracement. And guess what happens? You know how I told you, you know, Grok 2.0 is a very risky play. It's one of those tokens that is a high risk, high reward, but when they do pump, it's like freaking Grok on steroids. And look how much Grok 2.0 is currently up. Grok is currently up 59%, so 60%. I do think we're going to go ahead and surpass the 2 million market cap, and hopefully we could go ahead and break past what we were talking about, you know, a 30x, a 30 to 100x. I think is really possible. Even if you were to buy this bottom right here to its previous all-time high, that's about a 300%, which is a 3x, right? So throw in $1,000 right here, you're already at a 3x, and that's not even considering the fact that original Grok is about to go ahead and make new all-time highs. And hopefully I'm crossing my fingers and hope everybody who, you know, is still a holder of Grok could go ahead and take advantage of Grok and ride this wave all the way up to, you know, half 500 million plus market cap would be insane. I do think that's definitely going to go ahead and get the market excited. And it would definitely go ahead and get Grok 2.0 at the levels that we need in order for us to go ahead and take advantage of this pump. So I think everything's looking pretty good in my opinion overall in the market. I don't see any red flags so far. I mean, the fact that Bitcoin was able to break where it's at right now, it doesn't mean we can't just go ahead and it was a complete fake out and, you know, come all the way down. But it's definitely at least giving us some hope that we do see that a lot of potential is still there with Bitcoin. And, you know, seeing Bitcoin hit $44,000, in my opinion, is freaking insane. Like, if you're not getting excited right now, I know our time hasn't come yet, right? Like a lot of us have made a lot of money. We've also lost a lot of money these last couple weeks because of how undecisive the market has been. But the thing is right now that we have to go ahead and kind of cheer on for Bitcoin, right? We have to go ahead and cheer on for Bitcoin, because as long as we continue to cheer on for Bitcoin, Bitcoin continues to do its thing, we are definitely going to go ahead and see higher highs when it comes to altcoins and the meme tokens, right? And I did mention that we had to go ahead and be aware of how the DXY is actually slightly going up, and it could potentially mean that Bitcoin will be taking a hit. But I did mention, be very, very careful. Shorting Bitcoin at these areas are very, very critical. Why? Because Bitcoin is going to do whatever Bitcoin wants to do. So right now, I do want to go ahead and say congratulations to anybody that was trading Bitcoin. I don't trade Bitcoin. I was, you know, I don't really understand the way Bitcoin moves too much as far when it comes to trading. I've analyzed Bitcoin for a few years, but so far as trading, I just don't even have that big of a bag to even make enough money on Bitcoin. Like, I can't turn $1,000 and double my money unless I'm using extreme crazy leverage, right? So for me, it's like Bitcoin's like a high risk, low reward. And that's kind of the reason why I would rather trade like the altcoins and the meme tokens. People are like, hey, John, like, why do you freaking trade the altcoins and the meme tokens? I'm like, because I love the high risk, high reward, bro. Like, I would rather take a high risk and have a higher chance, you know, 4, 5, 10xing my bag, as opposed to, you know, trading Bitcoin where, you know, I only have $1,000 to my name. And it's a lot more difficult to trade Bitcoin. Yes, you're taking a lot of less of a risk. In my opinion, I think it's still a lot riskier. But your reward also is a lot smaller. You know what I mean? It's like, how many people have you heard? Maybe there is, but I haven't really heard of many people, you know, doubling, tripling, or quadrupling their account trading Bitcoin with, you know, $100 or like $1,000. You know, I'm sure it's possible, but the risk that you have to take on as far as leverage, I do think kind of minimizes what you could go ahead and really do, in my opinion. And you're better off taking that risk, you know, throwing your money into meme tokens and altcoins where your risk is higher, but so is your reward, right? Where you're risking $1,000, but your reward is $10,000. Like, what would you rather do? Risk $1,000 and make $10,000, or risk $1,000 to only make $300? You know what I mean? So like, to me, you know, trading Bitcoin just doesn't make sense with the kind of money I have. You know, if I had millions, will I be trading Bitcoin? Heck yeah, man. Why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? I think that's like the best thing you could do. Like, if I was to get to the point where my portfolio is over $1 million, and I have millions, like literally just to go ahead and trade with, I'll be trading freaking Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's what I would be doing. You know, you minimize your risk and you have a decent reward. It's like, why do I have to hit the home run when I already have millions, right? But if for all those that haven't hit the million yet, I know some of you have, congrats on that. I haven't hit my million yet, so I'm willing to go ahead and take on a little bit more of that higher risk to go ahead and get closer to, you know, eventually getting to that $1 million portfolio. And then I think from there on is when you start kind of deleveraging your risk and want to become a little bit more neutral. You know, you don't want to always be risk on, but that's just my opinion based off experience of what I learned. Dad Master, how's it going, bro? Hope you're having a good one today, man. Octavio, I still think we are going to see one drop for 33K and then boom. I would hope so, bro. I would like to go ahead and see Bitcoin dump. We've been waiting literally patiently. Like, I even told a lot of you, I told a lot of you on my, hey, chat, like, I don't trade Bitcoin, but if I was to go ahead and trade Bitcoin, I would like to go ahead and see Bitcoin drop down to $33,000. And to me, that'd be a nice little play for me. Like, I wouldn't mind throwing in, you know, $1,000 in here and then just ride the wave up, because I do believe that if Bitcoin was to fall down to $33,000, that is going to give me an indicator that, you know, Bitcoin is still destined to go up even higher. Right now, we are just at very, very risky levels. I mean, even from $33,000 up to $65,000, that's a 100% pump. So that's like a 1x of your money already. So I wouldn't mind throwing, you know, even $1,000. I'm sure with leverage, you'll be able to make a nice, decent amount of money while we're still leverage trading a lot of these meme tokens, right? It's like you're kind of minimizing your risk on, like, if you're risking money on meme tokens, and then you have a long position on Bitcoin where you're holding on for a while until it doubles, you'll make a decent amount of money. Just in case, you know, anything happens with the meme tokens or the altcoins, you at least have a decent bag to go ahead and play back on, right? Let's say you throw in $1,000, maybe you could go ahead and triple your account if Bitcoin was to go ahead and double from where, you know, from $33,000 to $64,000, depending on the leverage. And now that's kind of like more of a safer kind of play, right? And to me, I wouldn't mind doing that, because I think if it was to fall down to $33,000 and then pump back up, I think we're off to the races, and seeing a retracement won't be near our liquidation. You know what I mean? I did mention I would like to see a $33% dump on Bitcoin. It doesn't mean we have to, and this is the reason why we have Bitcoin pumping right now, right? Because retail investors are literally thinking the same way that we're thinking. We all want Bitcoin to go ahead and dump. We're all saying it's overpriced. The market is due for a correction. I mean, it looks like the stock market currently is correcting at the moment. So we are seeing the stock market down. Typically, you know, Bitcoin always rides with the stock market. It looks like right now it's doing its own thing. And I think that's the reason why, you know, a lot of people were overanalyzing the stock market. They were analyzing the DXY, seeing that the DXY was going to go up. And guess what retail investors did? Well, they went ahead and they doubled down on their shorts, and as soon as we saw a whale coming in and whatever bullish news happened, it pushed the price action up even higher. And this is kind of the problem that you have right now in the space, is that we're seeing a lot of this kind of volatility, because it's really retail traders that are wrecking the market. It's like you and I that are literally causing this market to be very, very volatile, where we're doubling down on either on the green or on the red, and we're getting wrecked. And this is the reason why we're seeing massive volatility wicks or pushes to the upside when, you know, when retail investors believe we should be shorting this down to 33,000. I mean, I thought so too. I mean, it got, you know, rejected here, or it consolidated here for a couple times. I would have entered a short here as well, and I mentioned that. But I told all of you, I'm not going to enter a short, because more than likely, I bet you this thing's going to go ahead and create some sort of short squeeze, causing Bitcoin to go ahead and pump back up to higher levels that nobody was expecting. That's exactly what's going on right now. Dabmaster was actually mentioning how he believes that we are in this disbelief rally, and I completely agree with you. I do think we are in some sort of disbelief rally, and I mentioned, as I mentioned, a lot of people are over analyzing the DXY. This is the reason why I say, yes, the DXY is a really good indicator to be on the lookout for, but never rely too much on it, because Bitcoin loves to do what Bitcoin loves to do. And this is exactly the reason why we're seeing this kind of pump on Bitcoin. I mean, if you measure it from this bottom to this top, this is a 17% pump, dude. Like, this is not light. Like, this is freaking amazing. If you were to enter a long position back here on Friday, on December 1st, a freaking 17% pump on Bitcoin's a lot. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't understand that, but this is the reason why we're seeing this, because a lot of people were hoping and crossing their fingers for a $34,000 to $33,000 Bitcoin. That's the reason why I haven't touched Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin's at really, really risky levels, and you're more destined to lose money than make money, in my opinion, because more people were looking to go ahead and short. And this comes with our conclusion of what we're talking about. And one of the biggest things that I've actually noticed yesterday when I was looking at the charts on Bitcoin is I mentioned about this sort of a Christmas rally we're going to have, and I mentioned how I think the market's only going to be, you know, running for about, you know, maybe 2 weeks at the max before we start seeing the market retrace. Well, I think I might be wrong. Look, I definitely want to go ahead and show you this that I never realized, and definitely open up my eyes. And I think Bitcoin could actually go up higher from where we're at right now. And I think it's going to be the same thing. We're going to have a slightly little dump. Shorts are going to double down, and guess what's going to happen? Bitcoin's going to continue to go up. By the time retail gets exhausted and they continue to get wrecked, now they're going to long the market, and then they're going to lose their money. like you just can't make this thing up, right? So that's why, for me personally, as I mentioned, what I like to go ahead and be on the lookout for is when retail begins to be quite bearish, that's when I want to be bullish. And when retail starts to be bullish, that's when I like to be bearish. And if you go in with that mentality, you have to keep in mind, most retail traders lose money, right? They're always doing, you know, the opposite. They're mostly trading with their emotions, and most actual good traders are doing the opposite because they understand what you're looking at. You know, this is a game where it's really a psychological game, and you could go ahead and overanalyze this, like the DXY. Like, I would have shorted this thing down too, but I knew exactly what happened back here. What happened right here when Bitcoin was at these levels? What happened? I told everybody right here, and people were calling me, John, you're freaking, stop spreading fake news. Bitcoin's not going to pump. We're in a bear market. It's going to go down to $8,000. And right here, when Bitcoin was at $28,000 around this area, I said, hey, chat, be on the lookout. Bitcoin's probably going to have a short squeeze to the upside, and people are going to get wrecked. And guess what happened? This is when the news, I believe, happened with some ETF BS approval happened, and it pumped the market. You know what I mean? So this is a reason why I'm not even like longing or shorting Bitcoin, because I don't freaking know it. Like, this is at very critical areas. Like, I mean, obviously textbook, I guess, if you would like to call it, most people would have, you know, shorted this right here because it just makes sense about the fact that, you know, we've gotten rejected here on this area of resistance. So it's, and that's what a lot of retail investors are looking at. You're like, oh, well, it's been, you know, touched resistance several times and volume has been decreasing. The DXY is going to go down, or the DXY is going to go up, meaning Bitcoin has to go up and then, or down, and then people double down on the shorts. The whales come in, buy in, liquidate the shorts, pushes the price action up, causing shorts to go ahead and start getting liquidated, getting stopped out, and then other traders are now being, oh snap, Bitcoin's pumping, let me go ahead and go long, and now that pushes the price action up even higher. And that's actually what we're seeing right now in the market. But I definitely do want to go ahead and talk about what I've actually noticed. Let me go ahead and read some comments real quick. Dabmaster says, hold Bitcoin, don't trade it. I agree with you. Bitcoin miners are up in big in the past week. Bitfarm is up 63% in 1 week. My options are up 150% in a week. Nice, bro. Congratulations. Congratulations. I have a buddy of mine too, Billy, who's winning pretty big on his options account too. I was actually trading options, but I took a break. I was like, you know what? Like, I'd rather focus on crypto right now. But I might consider, you know, entering back into the options space with some Bitcoin miners, because that's literally free money on the table. Like, literally, I think he mentioned Coinbase pumped from like $67 all the way up to like $100 and something. And this is the way you could go ahead and have exposure into the market through options trading if you know how to trade options. Obviously, it's super, super risky, and you have to understand like the gamma, the Greeks, and all of that. So it's honestly, it's to me, just options are just a little bit more stressful to me now. I don't know how I used to do it, bro. Like, I used to freaking trade options like a freaking crazy madman, and now I just like, dude, I just can't do options anymore. Like, I just feel like now my dedication has been more into crypto, and I understand crypto a little bit more. And I tried using this is the thing, the stock market and crypto market are two different things, chat. A lot of people think that if you know how to trade the stock market, you're going to know how to trade the crypto market. And that's completely false. I understood the stock market, so I thought I was going to come into the crypto market as an expert, and I got wrecked in the crypto market. Then I learned the crypto market, and I tried applying the same things that I understood from the crypto market, and I went back to the stock market, and I got wrecked on the stock market. So it's two completely different ball games. I mean, even my buddy right now that's killing it in options on the stock market has been getting kind of wrecked in the crypto market leverage trading. Yeah, I've been making, you know, pretty nice returns leverage trading. So it's like you have to stick to either one or, you know what I mean? I thought, you know, being able to, you know, being a trader, you're able to trade everything. But in my opinion, at least for me, what my strategy works is just, I just can't be trading both. You know, I just can't. But this is like leaving like easy money on the table. So I might consider, you know, buying some contracts. I think right now they might be a little bit overvalued. I would like to go ahead and see Bitcoin retrace. If I do see Bitcoin retrace, I would definitely like to go ahead and buy maybe some like 6 months or 8 months out, 6 months long, maybe of a year if I could on contracts, especially if Bitcoin does get closer to that 100,000. I think contracts will be printing money. But I mean, look at Riot right now. I mean, look at Riot right here. It was at $9 and actually printed all the way up to $16. See, the thing is with the stock market, it's just way too freaking slow for me now. Like, the stock market's way too slow. Like, I got so used to the crypto market now. And before, I used to be the opposite. I used to trade the same way as I used to trade on the stock market. And I used to hold on. Dude, on the stock market, you could hold on to a position for 4 months and you could be making gains. Like, I mean, you could have held onto Coinbase since October and on a contract position, and you could have been selling up at $147, which, if you see that, that's a pretty nice return on the stock market. That's double your money. But if you're trading options, bro, look at it as like trading it with 10x leverage, right? You're freaking insane money, and that's not even considering Delta, the Greeks, if they have a gamma squeeze like we see right here. And you could be making a boatload of money. Like, literally, my buddy, you know, he started off with like $100 and something, and I think his account he showed me this morning was like at over $2,000, and it has been from trading AMC, which I told him to take a look at, and Macy's, and then he flipped his money into miners, and he went into Coinbase. He was telling me about how Coinbase has been printing. He even told me, he's like, bro, jump into Coinbase, and I was like, dude, honestly, I just can't trade the stock market anymore. Like, I just can't. Like, if I was to enter the stock market, it's gonna be more of a long-term hold. I just can't do the stock market anymore. Just too slow for me. My head's more focused on crypto now. Like, you know what I mean? Everything I do is crypto, and I enjoy crypto a lot more. I love the volatility. I love the space. I love the people. And like, to me, I just can't go back to, you know, trading stocks. But if I make a decent bag on crypto, I wouldn't mind, and I would suggest, obviously not financial advice, if you are, you know, in the stock market, you know, look into contract options into miners. You know what I mean? Coinbase is publicly traded, so if Bitcoin pumps, guess what's going to pump? Coinbase is going to pump as well. So this is one of the best ways you can go ahead and have some sort of risk in the stock market if you want to go ahead and be waiting for the ETF to go ahead and get approved. As you do see, you know, Bitcoin went or Coinbase went as high as $300, and I do think that as soon as that ETF comes in, we could be seeing, you know, Coinbase trading up at $500 and above. So, you know, this is the reason why the Wall Street wants the ETF approval, and you have to understand this is the reason why, because Wall Street has some publicly traded companies on the NASDAQ exchange that are crypto related. So if Bitcoin gets approved with the ETF, guess what's going to happen? All these miners, all these blockchain companies are going to pump to new all-time highs, and the suits are going to make a lot of money. This is the reason why we're having this whole entire ETF narrative being talked about, right? Anyways, let's go ahead and read comments. Quote, hey bro, can someone explain leverage trading, because I don't understand the part of how long can you trade with leverage trading, because otherwise you could do 100x and just wait days and it goes up. It just depends on how you do leverage trading, man. The thing is, with leverage trading, you could either do like quick little swing trades, or you could go ahead and do day trades. Like right now, for example, I'm holding on to a position on Pepe 2. I've been holding it on for a couple days, so I'm kind of like swing trading that for longer periods. But the way leverage trading works is that, let's say if you put in $100 and you use 10x leverage, now you have the power of, what is it, $1,000? So it's like you're borrowing money, you know what I mean? So like, if you're using, let's say, there's a reason why I like leverage trading so much now. I've tried leverage trading back in the last bull run, and I got wrecked, and it was very, very confusing. I think leverage trading looks very confusing, but I think once you understand like the very simplest format and you have someone explain it to you, you'll be able to understand it. And like, for example, like if you were to have $1,000, just to keep it very simple, and you're using, let's say, 20x leverage, that means you have a $20,000 kind of position, right? So technically, this is the way I like to explain it with people when they ask me, hey, so what is leverage trading? I always tell them, pretend, I don't say pretend, because you don't want to pretend, because this is actually the way it works. To make it very, very simple, if you use $1,000 and you enter a position with 20x leverage, that means technically your $1,000 turns into $20,000. And the way that I like to explain this is, look at it as if you're borrowing $20,000, meaning that you're, instead of having $1,000 open on Pepe 2.0, you actually have a $20,000 position open on Pepe or Pepe 2 or whatever token you want to talk about, Bitcoin, right? If the token pumps to a certain percentage, let's say double, triple, quadruple, whatever you profit off the $20,000, you get to keep. So let's say out of the $20,000 that you're borrowing, let's say the token pumps, right, 20%, and now you're up $4,000. You can't pull out the $20,000, but what you do get to do is you get to keep the profits, and you have to pay whatever fees are associated with with the exchange. You know, MEXC, for example, has one of the lowest fees. So there's a reason why I love trading on MEXC, one of the lowest fees in the market. You literally paying like literally pennies when it comes to other exchanges. Other exchanges do charge you, you know, even some of them charge you 30%, 40% of your profits that you make. MEXC, on the other hand, does charge like one of the lowest in the one of the lowest in the markets. Plus, they do no KYC, and it literally takes 3 seconds to create an account. You know, a lot of these exchanges require all this paperwork, all these documents, and it just takes forever for approval and all that. But as I'm saying, whatever, let's say out of those $20,000 that you're borrowing and whatever you profit off, let's say you profit $4,000, you get to keep the $4,000, but you have to return them your money back. Now, the con to this is that yes, you might have access to $20,000, but if the token dumps, let's say 40%, you're at risk of something called liquidation. Meaning, let's say if Pepe's trading at $5, right? And your liquidation, let's go ahead and see if I can show you this a little bit more. We're going to do it right here. Let's do it right here. We're going to go ahead and write this right here. We're going to draw it, and I'm going to go ahead and answer all the questions, right? I want to go ahead and explain this to people because I always get this question on how leverage trading works, and I never understood it either until like just recently. And the way, as I'm mentioning, you have $1,000, right? And you're using 20x leverage. We said that's what, $20,000, right? So you pretty much have the power of $20,000. Or let's just say you're borrowing $20,000. Just keep it very, very simple. Let's do 20K. We'll do that. That's kind of ugly. Hold on. We'll do 20K just to keep it simple. $1,000 with 20x leverage. And this goes to anything. You could do $1,000 with 100x leverage, 50x leverage, 40x leverage. And you're like, hey John, how do they make why would they let you borrow $20,000? Well, this is the thing. Most people lose money. I'm gonna be honest with you. Most people lose money leverage trading. So this is the way a lot of these exchanges make money. They make a lot more money than they actually lose money. And they make more money because more people get wrecked. They get greedy. They really don't understand how to trade. And there's a lot of manipulation in the market. So as easy as it sounds, it's a lot more difficult than what people think. But they'll lend you for $20,000. And you're like, why would they do that? Well, let's say, for example, Pepe's trading at $10, right? You now have something called liquidity. Liquidity. This is our liquidity right here. I can't really draw, or yeah, just liquidity. I'm not sure if you can see that. Liquidity. Let's say Pepe 2 or Pepe's trading at $10, right? Now you have a problem, something called getting liquidated, meaning they'll let you borrow this $20,000 with no problems, and whatever money you make, you'll just pay them a small fee. For example, MEXC's, it's like 0.02. Other exchanges is 30 to 40% of whatever you profit. So 40% or 30% out of your $2,000 or $10,000 of your profit, whatever the case is. We're saying right now with what MEXC is, right? You get $20,000. They'll let you borrow that money. Let's say you're now in profits $4,000. Well, you're able to pull out that $4,000 and keep that $4,000, but you don't get to keep the $20,000. But you were trading as if you had a $20,000 position, meaning you have a higher opportunity to make more money, right? So it sounds freaking amazing. You're like, dude, this is freaking amazing, free money. Well, this is the risk right here, because as I mentioned, most people lose money leverage trading. Now you have the problem of something called liquidation, right? And you're like, John, what is liquidation? Well, liquidation is pretty much saying that if the price action, for example, of Pepe, which is trading at $10, drops down to $5, 50%, now you're entering something called getting margin called or getting liquidated, right? What that means is that if the price action of the token, Pepe or whatever token you're trading, continues to drop below 50% and above, as soon as it starts reaching that 100%, you lose all your money that's in there. So if you're trading with $1,000 and the token drops 20 or 30% or drops 10%, and because you're using leverage is like 10 times of that, you have the risk of losing all your money that you put in. So that's the high risk that you have. You're risking all your money that you're putting in, but you're getting the opportunity to trade and borrow $20,000, but you don't have to pay this $20,000 back because the exchange closes your position before they start losing money. So in reality, they really don't lose money. If anything, they make more money, because out of your $1,000, not only do you have to pay them if you profit, and you have to give them their money back, but if you were to lose, you also have to pay them back with your $1,000. So you owe them your $1,000, which they get to keep. So if Pepe 2.0 drops, or Pepe drops from $10 to $5 and you're entering liquidation, guess what's going to happen if it falls to $4? Well, you lose all your $1,000. You can't just hold your bag, cross your fingers that Pepe 2.0 pumps back up tomorrow. And if it pumps back up tomorrow, well, that's typically what the case is. You lose all your money. And that's kind of how leverage trading works. I'm not sure if that made any sense. I try to keep it as simplified as usual. Whenever people ask me how leverage trading works, they're always like, dude, do I have to pay the $20,000 back if I lose it? And I'm like, no, you only get to lose whatever money you put in. So if you put in $10,000 and you're using 10x leverage or 200x leverage, you lose all your money that you put in. The higher the leverage you go, the higher the risk, meaning the less the project could actually dump. So if you're using 20x leverage, for me personally, I don't like to use no more than 20x. 20x is super risky for me personally. There's people that trade with 50 to 100x. I don't know how they do it. I really wish I knew, but I don't know how. Because imagine trading, with $1,000. Let's say you put in $1,000 and you're using freaking 200x leverage. I mean, look at the potential possibility you have now. $200,000. This is the reason why futures is really, really manipulated and can move the market, because there's people with, let's say $10,000 that could be trading with, let's say 50x leverage, and now they have the possibility of moving the market with $500,000. This is the reason why it's really, really risky. So it sounds really cool and really fun and really exciting. That sounds kind of like free money. But there's a lot of risk, and the exchanges make their money. They don't really lose their money. There's a lot of manipulation that goes on to it, kind of like what we're seeing with Bitcoin. People got liquidated, meaning there's people that lost a lot of freaking money because they were holding on to a trade. They were probably sleeping. They probably weren't looking at the charts, and they got liquidated. That's what liquidation is. And when you get liquidated, they have to go ahead and close the price action at wherever it's at, right? They have to go ahead and close their position. And if they're shorting it, that means they have to close it at a higher price, which causes the momentum of, the cryptocurrency to continue to go up. Meaning we have this kind of movement right here. So let's say, for example, if Joe had a liquidation at $40,000 on Bitcoin and he was shorting it right here, hoping that it would dump down to $33,000, and his liquidation was right here. Well, as it's getting closer to liquidation, there's probably a lot of people getting stopped out of their positions. And in order to close your short position on a crypto or on whatever stock market, whatever it is, you have to go ahead and buy in at a higher price. Meaning, if you want to go ahead and close your short at Bitcoin at 43,586, you would have to go ahead and close it at 43,600. Let's say, for example, in order to go ahead and close it quickly. It's kind of like when you're selling and you're buying, you're doing the opposite, right? And that's what causes the price action going up. But the thing is that a lot of retail investors don't know any of what I just told you. They don't know that this is a liquidity grab. They don't know that this is liquidations. They don't know that the price action is being stopped out. So most retail investors don't know any of this, what we're talking about. So as soon as they start seeing the market pump, guess what they do? Retail loves buying freaking green, dude. They love buying green. They don't like buying red. They only like to buy green. So when retail sees, let's say, for example, or even a lot of traders that are looking to go ahead and finally get confirmation that it's going to continue to go up, but for the most part, it's retail traders. Once they see Bitcoin pumping like this, guess what they're going to do? If they saw Bitcoin pump from $37,000 up to, let's say, $39,000, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go ahead and continue to long now. But they don't even know that these are liquidation grabs. These are, traders getting stopped out, and that causes the price action to go up even higher. And then more traders then start riding the wave with the liquidity grab. So there's a lot of different scenarios how to understand this. The only way you understand how liquidity grabs work is just by looking at the market, really. I mean, there's really no other way to kind of explain it to you. I know a lot of you were telling me how manipulated Pepe 2.0 is, and I'm gonna go ahead and start reading the comments right now. And I mentioned that, yeah, it's super manipulated. And you're like, hey John, how do you know these are liquidity grabs? How do you know? Because you could just tell by the wicks. You could just tell by the movement of how the market moves. And for example, right here on Pepe 2, this was a liquidity grab. That means a lot of people lost money right here on Pepe, or they got stopped out, which both ways. They lost money, right? And guess what happens? Wells had buying orders right here, and they pushed the price action up. And then they continue to do it over and over again. So this is the reason why, yeah, leverage trading is freaking cool. But if it drops like 2%, there's a high probability you might lose, you know, $10, $20, $30,000, depending on the money that you put in there. And that's where the risk comes in. I'm not sure if that made any sense of the way of how I explain leverage trading. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And when you see wicks like this on Pepe too as well, and this is where a lot of retail investors get wrecked too. And this is the reason why I like trading this, because I know Pepe 2.0 is being heavily shorted. I know that for a fact, bro. I know that for a fact. And you could just tell how manipulated this is. So for me, I like trading tokens that are going to cause a short squeeze. I've done that with AMC. I did that with GameStop before anybody even knew about that. That's what I like to trade, right? So for me, that's why I'm very bullish on Pepe, because Pepe, same thing right here. Look at these liquidation graphs. Look at these stop losses. Look at these giant wicks. This is how it tells you that people are getting wrecked. This tells you that shorts were closing out their positions and continue to get wrecked, and they continue to double down until eventually they got it down. And that's why we see these massive pumps and these massive dumps. It's not so much that the token's so bullish. People are like, hey, John, why is Pepe pumping? Well, because it's being heavily shorted. So this is the reason why I was telling you that as soon as Bitcoin starts to break past this 6 zone right here, this thing's going to skyrocket. I don't know how high it might skyrocket. Maybe it doubles from where we're at right here, but it's going to reach levels like around where we were at previously. And this is going to happen because Pepe 2.0 is being heavily shorted, meaning that if shorts want to go ahead and close their positions, which they have been finding very, very hard to, and now Bitcoin has pumped to new all-time highs, if more people start to see Pepe 2, more traders, more retail investors, and they're wondering why Pepe's pumping and it's on the green, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go ahead and buy Pepe at these zones right here, causing the price action to go up. Shorts are going to start losing their money. They're going to have to close their position. Remember, I told you when they close their position, they're either going to get liquidated, meaning they're going to lose all their money they put in, or they're going to have to close their position, meaning they're going to have to go ahead and buy in at a higher price action. So if a short wants to close a position, they would have to close their position at 5,199, meaning the price action is going to go up, right? People are going to go ahead and buy that, and now it's going to cost the price action to climb back up, and then retail starts getting hyped up as this thing starts to pump. And guess what retail begins to do? And traders mostly, right? The smart traders understand that this is a squeeze, so they start to load up right here. And then the retails are the ones that end up getting stuck buying the top. So the retails are the ones that are buying right here. And maybe most of them are going to get wrecked, and they're going to be the liquidity when it comes all the way down. But most traders that are looking at this, or momentum traders, whatever you want to call them, whales, are entering at these zones right here. They're entering right here. That's why you see these massive wicks right here, because they're liquidating you and I to go ahead and get a better price entry for them to go ahead and ride the momentum when the short squeeze begins. And they know that once Pepe starts pumping 20, 30%, a lot of retail is going to begin to buy, and then you're left holding the bag once again at right here or right here. That's why you always see these massive pumps, and then you see these massive dumps, because shorts are getting squeezed out of their position. They're having to stop. They're getting stopped out, and the retail investors are like, oh snap, Pepe went from 7,273 up to 14,765. Let me go ahead and go all in now. And they're thinking that Pepe's going to go ahead and 20x from here, and in reality they're left getting liquidated or holding the bag. And this is the reason why then we see these massive dumps, because then a lot of longs get liquidated as well. So this is the reason why you see these massive pumps and dumps. Moon Joker, how's it going, bro? I think we might cross 65,000 and then take down hard to 12 to 15,000. I don't think $12,000 to $15,000 is going to happen, my guy. Like I really wish $12,000 Bitcoin was possible, but I don't think $12,000 Bitcoin is possible, man. Like, as much as I want to say and be bearish on Bitcoin, because I've been really, really bearish on Bitcoin these last couple of days, but I also mentioned, not because I'm bearish, it doesn't mean it has to drop down. We might be at critical areas and we should go ahead and come down, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go ahead and short this market, because I understand what I just explained to a lot of you. What I just explained is literally what a lot of other traders were thinking, and that's why they thought they were going to outsmart the market. And obviously the whales, the ones with the more power, they knew retail investors were thinking exactly what I just told you about how the DXY was going to go down, how the stock market was going to come down, how it's due for a correction, how Bitcoin's going to go down to $33,000. And guess what the smart traders did? They did the opposite of what retail wanted to do. Does it make sense? Does it make sense that Bitcoin's pumping all the way up to these highs? No. But it does make sense when I give you the explanation that a lot of retail investors were shorting this right here, hoping for $33,000 Bitcoin, or even hoping for $25,000 Bitcoin, which was never going to happen. I told you this. And that caused the market to go ahead and continue to pump. And professional traders know this. So they literally play the little guy like they usually do. And there's a reason why you have to think the opposite way. It's like, yeah, Bitcoin should be dumping because the DXY is up, the stock market's up. But as I mentioned, Bitcoin's going to do whatever it wants. And that's why the last couple videos that I made on Bitcoin, I titled them, you know, Bitcoin going to $50,000, Bitcoin going to $100,000. And I've made videos like this since October, talking about Bitcoin hitting $50,000 to $70,000 and above, and people were calling me, you know, that I'm over here spreading fake news, that Bitcoin's going to go down, that it's not true. And look where we're at right now. So you always want to go ahead and think the opposite of the masses. Moon Joker says when altcoin is going to happen, John. I think altcoin season is going to happen early January, and there's actually a chart that I want to go ahead and show you with Bitcoin, and this is the reason why I want to go ahead and show you this. So let me go ahead and read through all the comments, because I don't want to go ahead and ignore you. But I just had to go ahead and do that quick breakdown before, because I know I always get that question, and I hope a lot of that how leverage trading and how, you know, getting a short squeeze works. Because if you understand these kind of fundamentals, I guess, because I'm more of a fundamental trader, a momentum trader, if you want to call it. I'm not the best TA guy, but when I understand what I look at, like for example, I know I'm really good at looking for short squeezes. I'm really good at trading them. I understand them. I've been doing them since GameStop and AMC. I was trading freaking AMC at like $6, and I rode the wave all the way to like 30 something or 20 something. I did the same thing with GameStop. I was buying GameStop at $6 because I knew there was a short squeeze coming, and people were saying the opposite. You know, there wasn't even YouTubers at the time talking about the GameStop short squeeze, and I got in before, you know, Wall Street bets and all of that shit happened. I didn't even know about Wall Street bets till literally the last couple months ago. I didn't even know what Wall Street bets was until literally the last couple months ago. So I literally look for things that I understand, and I just stick to that. And that's literally how I make a boatload of money all at once, is because what I know is all I need is one successful trade to change my life. And that's all you really do. There's obviously different styles, but for me, I like trading a little bit more of the fundamental / momentum, meaning I don't have to go ahead and enter every freaking trade that's out there. I only trade what I like, what I feel comfortable with, and what I understand. You know, one of these YouTubers that I watch, one of my favorite YouTubers, his name's Andy from Bitcoin Senses. And one thing that he mentioned is, and it kind of stuck to me, he said, the more you trade, the more money you lose. And after I heard him say that, I was like, snap, bro. That's why I've been losing a lot of money, because I've been trading a lot. So the less you trade and you actually only look for patterns or breakout patterns or whatever patterns you like trading, head and shoulders, you know, cup and handles, reversals, whatever the case is, bull flags, and you only stick to trading those, you'll make more money than trying to trade every freaking token out there. Like, if you only like trading Bitcoin, stick to only trading Bitcoin. If you only like trading altcoins, only stick to trading altcoins. Like for me, I know how to trade altcoins. I know how to trade meme coins. People might talk all this stuff about, oh, you know, you're not a real trader because you don't trade Bitcoin. But dude, it doesn't matter. I'm still making, if not more money than what you're trading on Bitcoin, right? But it's not here to compare anybody. It's just what makes sense for you. You know what I mean? For me, I don't know. I don't want to trade Bitcoin, and I really don't know how to trade Bitcoin. I know how to analyze it, but I'm not a Bitcoin trader, right? I understand meme tokens and altcoins. Which is, you know, the hype and the momentum and all of that. And that's all I have to know, right? It doesn't matter like what other people want or what other people like. Like, only, this is the reason why I always mention, only trade what you understand. Don't trade what you don't understand. If you don't know how to trade Bitcoin, then don't trade freaking Bitcoin, bro. It's that simple. I don't know how to trade it, and I don't touch it. If you understand how to trade meme tokens and you know how to find meme tokens before they take off, focus on just trading meme tokens. It doesn't matter what people say, right? And that's kind of like how I am. It's like, I understand Bitcoin, but I don't trade Bitcoin, bro. I really don't. And the only way I think I would make the kind of money that I could make trading meme tokens and altcoins is if I had $1 million plus, because this is what I see a lot of these traders trading. I look at their portfolio and I'm like, oh, they're trading with $500,000. That makes sense. You know, that makes sense why they're up $60,000, $100,000 in their position, because they're trading with $3 million plus on 50x leverage. You know, if I had that kind of money, trust me, I'd be trading Bitcoin too. I wouldn't be trading the meme tokens or the altcoins. I think that'd be like over risking and over leveraging myself, but I'm not there yet, right? But Dadmaster says, I don't think Bitcoin is going to run up fast. Don't short Bitcoin. The pullback will be short-lived. Trillions of dollars are going to be flooded into Bitcoin from businesses to countries. I feel the same. Moon Joker says, I feel like BTC could go max 55 to 60K and then a huge tank will follow. I think Bitcoin will dump too, but I don't think it would be as big as many people think. I think this is kind of like the problem that we're at in the market. I've been really, really bearish with Bitcoin these last couple months. My perspective changed back in October, and that's when I started calling for Bitcoin, you know, being 60 to, you know, 50K. You can go back to my videos, and people were denying that. You know, people are saying $10,000 Bitcoin, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? I think at the most, if we were to get a correction on Bitcoin, it's going to be a 30% correction at the most right now, before, you know, this bull run starts. So in reality, Bitcoin needs a correction, but it doesn't have to happen. And that's what people need to understand, and kind of let their ego out the way, that, you know, people want to go ahead and do what people think it should be doing. You know, it's like Bitcoin should have dumped weeks ago. Bitcoin should have been at $33,000. And I told a lot of you that. And I wanted to see Bitcoin at $33,000 because I wanted a long Bitcoin at $33,000, because I knew if it dumped from $38,000 down to $33,000, I knew this kind of movement was going to happen. But the reason why I didn't short it was because I understood that there was a high probability that this thing was going to create a short squeeze. And I'm glad I didn't freaking short it, because I would have gotten wrecked. And that's what people need to understand. They have to understand that not because you and I think Bitcoin should be priced at a certain level, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. You just have to ride the momentum, bro. It's like, don't be bearish when everything's freaking bullish. You know what I mean? And don't be bullish when everything's bearish. Like, you have to go ahead and ride the wave. Like, this is the reason why most retail traders lose money, because they're following every textbook thing. And yes, Bitcoin should have dumped. Like, I'm not telling you it should have never dumped. It should have pumped. Bitcoin should have dumped weeks ago, but I told everybody it doesn't mean it has to. And that's what a lot of retail investors get confused, is that because they're over here reading their freaking textbooks talking about, you know, certain patterns, they think the patterns are going to be exactly the same way as they read on their books, or, you know, they took their courses on it. It's not always the case. It's like, yeah, the DXY is going up. Bitcoin should be going down. But guess what? Bitcoin doesn't care. And nobody does either. You know what I mean? You just have to ride the momentum. Like, if Bitcoin's going up higher, like, I don't know what else Bitcoin needs to do in order for people to be bullish that Bitcoin's going to be going up higher. Can Bitcoin still retrace back down? Yes, but midterm, Bitcoin's going to go up. And either way, you and I shouldn't really be worried about what Bitcoin does, because if Bitcoin goes up, that means our time for meme tokens and altcoins are coming. And if Bitcoin dumps, that's going to be altcoin season and meme coin season. And if Bitcoin pumps, that means there's going to be more people interested into altcoins and meme tokens, meaning the prices are going to go up. So realistically, we shouldn't really be cheering for, you know, Bitcoin dumping. Do I want Bitcoin to dump so I could enter a nice trade at $33,000 and ride the way up to $60,000 to $100,000? Yes, I would love that. But realistically, as long as Bitcoin continues with this momentum, our turn will come, and that's what I'm excited for. That's why I'm not really too crazy about Bitcoin hitting these levels. I'm like, it's cool, but has Bitcoin pumping to those levels really benefit the market on our side? Not too much. I mean, we're seeing Wojak at 38%, Grok 2.0 at 60, Pepe 2.0 at 5.5. We're slightly up, but our turn is not here yet. But in order for us to get our turn, we need to see Bitcoin continue to go up higher. And this is the reason why I'm cheering for Bitcoin. I don't care about Bitcoin. The only reason why I care about Bitcoin, because that means that when Bitcoin hits its top, whether it's $45,000, $50,000, $60,000, guess what's going to happen? Altcoin season begins. That's when you and I are going to be making a boatload of freaking money, and that's when meme coin season is going to happen after, and we're going to be freaking making so much freaking money this coming up year. And that's why I'm excited. I'm not too excited about Bitcoin because I don't hold Bitcoin either, bro. Like, I really don't. And I really wish I did. Like, I really wish I went to the mentality, like, you know, buying Bitcoin at these ages. And, you know, I wish I would have never over leveraged myself and took on so much risk. Like, I was telling chat a few days ago, the times that I've gone into the crypto market have always been at the top. In 2017, I got at the top. The last bull run, 2020, I got in at the top. This is my first bull run that I'm actually entering crypto literally at the near bottom and rode the wave all the way to the top. So I'm really freaking excited for that. And that's what I'm really more excited about, is that, dude, there's so much freaking money to be made. So much money to be made. Dad Master says retail investors won't matter when the big boys get in. They won't sell their Bitcoin. They will just take loans against them. Think Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor has 1 billion profit, but he can't cash out because market will crash. I mean, who would want to cash out $1 billion in Bitcoin now? Moon Joker says, but obviously a setback is expected. I agree with you. A setback is expected. Dad Master, I'm not sure, Moon Joker. I think it's going to go parabolic. Buying options on crypto miners is like leverage on leverage on leverage. 100%, bro. That's why I love trading options. Buy leaps in miners and sell in summer, fall 2025. That's what I'm thinking of actually doing, bro. Once you lose is greater than your initial investment, you get liquidated. You put $100 and you use 20x leverage, $2,000. Once it goes down 1,900, you get liquidated. How's it going, Crypto Boss Andrew? Hope you're doing good, bro. Hope to go ahead and see you and I do a collab soon, man. Chat, go ahead and comment down below and tell Crypto Boss Andrew to do a collab with me. It's doing good, bro. Addicted Marshmallow says best YouTuber. I appreciate you, man. Addicted Marshmallow, how's it to be focused on chart and reading comments? It's really, really difficult, bro, reading chat and doing charts. It's really, really difficult, especially for me. I'm a freaking talker, bro. Like, if you were to meet me in person, I'm exactly the same. Like, my personality, my attitude, I'm the freaking, like, the same person. So I really enjoy talking a lot, if you can't tell, right? So it's really, really difficult when I'm trying to, like, point out what I'm trying to say and I'm getting in my zone and I'm trying to go ahead and read all the comments. It's really, really difficult. But I have my phone right here. And I have another screen right here where I see chat, but I'm using my phone right here to go ahead and read comments. But it's really, really difficult because for me, I get in the zone, you know? And I do have like ADHD and dyslexia. So like if I'm focused on something, like I get focused, you know what I mean? So reading comments and doing charts and doing all this, it's a little difficult for me. I'm not going to lie. Dad Master says Pepe 2.0 looks prime for an explosion. 100%. Hit the like button, fam. It's free way to support Alpha. 100%, man. Glenn says, John, I sold big time at 20 cents. No freaking way, bro. Dude, isn't big time at like 50 cents or something like that? I mean, at least you made money, bro. At least you made money. You know what I mean? You don't... Oh, snap, man. Snapperoonies, bro. Oh my gosh, from 19 cents all the way up to almost $1. And someone was talking about big time and I was like, dude, I'm not going to trade it. This thing just looks way too freaking risky for me. See, the thing is, bro, I just hope you didn't lose money on big time. I'm sure you probably made money on it. And regardless, and this goes to everybody, right, chat? You don't want to go ahead and get too discouraged if you don't take advantage of massive pumps like this and you sell too early or you lose money, because there's always going to be opportunities in the market, right? When you see tokens like big time, Grok, Bitcoin doing their thing and you're like, dude, my time hasn't come, trust me, dude, our time will come. We just have to go ahead and be patient. This is the reason why you have to be scalping and looking for the market at all times. Like, people are missing out right now on Pepe too. Like, I'm not shilling you anything, I'm just telling you what I'm trading. You know, people are like, hey John, how do you always like freaking make these huge ass trades? It's because I'm patient and I'm confident in what I'm doing. And I understand what I'm doing. So like right now, the only position I'm in is I'm in Pepe too, bro. I'm not chasing Wojak. I'm not chasing, you know, Bonk. I'm not chasing Grok. I'm not chasing Bitcoin. I'm not chasing any of these trades. The only position I'm in right now is Pepe 2.0 right now. And that's all I'm sticking to. And that's all I'm trading right now. Until this thing pops off, which I literally showed you how it's done it multiple times, doesn't mean it's going to happen. But if this thing pops up, this thing's gonna be probably like a $15,000 to $20,000 play, hopefully for me, and I'll make all my money I literally lost, and hopefully then I'll start diversifying into like the Groks back again, and start trading the Pepes and the Wojaks, because I do think that we can't be trading Pepe forever. Hopefully we could, but I'm also understanding how other tokens move. So when Pepe 2.0 is done, I'm going to short it from the top to the bottom, and then I'm going to go ahead and go down on other projects such as Bonk, which I think is going to continue to go up higher, because Solana is going to probably go up over $100. Wojak's going to continue to pump, and then Pepe is going to continue to pump. So for me, that's really what I like to go ahead and focus on what I understand. And these are the tokens that I'm looking at right now. I have a position on Grok 2.0. I'm going to be trading Bonk, Wojak, and Pepe, and possibly RFD. And Grok is a really good one to swing trade, but really, really risky. So that's all you have to do. Just stick to the tokens that you understand, and then just diversify your portfolio. So I'm coming out with a strategy this time. I understood never to put in no more than $10,000 on leverage with a lot of these meme tokens. I think $8,000 to $6,000 is like the best. Maybe $3,000 is the best you should do. But any more than that, like, you know, if you're trading a meme token with $20,000 on leverage, you're destined to get wrecked, bro. Even if you have profits, it's going to be very, very difficult to cash out $300,000 plus if the liquidity is not there, right? You're going to have to go ahead and sell at a lower price. If the market might move too quick, you might not get filled in. So I've kind of learned from that $20,000 loss on Grok. I learned to never freaking put in $20,000 in a position that's a meme token on leverage. Like, I was on leverage, I think 10x. So $20,000, I was like trading with the $20,000. What was that, dude? If I was doing a 10x, I was trading basically with a $200,000 position on Grok. I was destined to get wrecked, bro. That was the dumbest thing I've ever freaking done. I've done a lot of dumb things, but that was really, really freaking dumb, dude. Really freaking dumb of myself. And now I learned, you know what I mean? I learned that, you know, you shouldn't be trading meme tokens on leverage with $20,000. You should be doing it with, you know, less than $8,000 in my opinion. I think even at the max, I might be trading a lot of these at $3,000. $8,000 max, that's the max I would be trading these meme tokens on leverage. It's just not worth the risk. I had troubles when I was up in a position on Wojak and I was trading with like $4,000 or $6,000, I think it was. I had troubles taking freaking $1,500 profit, bro. Like, I couldn't take $1,500 profit. It was very, very difficult because the volume wasn't there. So yes, I was up in my position, but it was difficult for me to take profits on my Wojak position without freaking losing money. And when I closed my position, my $1,500 position went from freaking $900. So I literally like missed out on like over $800 profit because there wasn't enough volume on Wojak to go ahead and close out my position. So now I know that. See, I didn't know that before. But now I know that it's not worth, you know, risking no more than $4,000 on leverage with a lot of these meme tokens, because once you go up higher, I'm sure these whales know your positions, bro. I'm sure they do. I'm sure these whales could see the kind of position you have and will purposely wreck you, pump the market, and make you lose money. So I don't know. Maybe I overanalyze this shit, but that's what I think. Andrew says, I see a move to 47,000. I do think we need a massive correction before the half. I agree with you. I do think a 30% correction might happen, though. Datmaster says more money will follow into Bitcoin from countries in the highest total crypto market cap by the factor of 10. I agree, dude. I rotate stocks options to big crypto, a little crypto, and meme coins to cash them and repeat. Nice, bro. Moon Joker says, John, are we nearing an altcoin pump this month? I think we are getting closer to one, for sure. And this is actually the chart that I want to show you with Bitcoin on where I think meme coin or altcoin season is going to happen. So definitely, if you're still watching this live stream, make sure to watch till the end. And we'll go ahead and talk about it right now. Glenn says, BTC is running upwards again. How's it going, Glenn, by the way? Hope you're having a good one today, bro. Moon Joker, Doge, Shiba, Floki, then Pepe, now Grok, in my opinion, and Pepe 2.0. I agree with you, bro. Moon Joker says, John, let's not forget about Shiba and SafeMoon with the biggest ROI in 2021. I agree with you. Shiba, like on the low end, chat, 10x almost guaranteed, bro. Like, Shiba could like literally do next bull run a 10x almost guaranteed. I don't like using the word guaranteed, but literally if you go ahead and measure it, it's a freaking 10x, bro. Anything more than that will be great. Moon Joker says Luke Bomber make like 40 million on Safe Moon. Literally, it's either luck or insider info. I feel like it's always insider info, bro. There's no way you make freaking 40 million plus on a token and have no problem pulling out liquidity. Moon Joker says, John, it's so cringe to see Twitter crypto influencers saying this wallet went from 10K to 100 million, like putting clickbait. Yeah, we've been seeing a lot, bro. See, we also have to give it to the crypto influencers on Twitter, because I feel like the crypto influencers have so much freaking influence, bro. Like, you can't make this thing up, man. Like, they have so much freaking influence that a lot of people get wrecked off the Twitter influencers. But they're kind of like the bait ones. They kind of use the bait to hype people up, right? So we have to kind of thank the Twitter influencers too for, you know, pumping their own the markets, I guess, right? Glenn is knocking at 44K again. Let's go. Moon Joker says, I feel like alt season would be next year. I agree with you. Shoot point blank, is Terra crashing? I haven't looked at Terra. Advocate, how's it going, man? BTC 44,000 up. How is USTC? I haven't seen USTC, man. I got wrecked on USTC, I think, or maybe I was shorting and I profited and I haven't traded it since. But USTC looks like it's taking a little dip. I mean, we have been at that oversold territory. I did mention that typically when we have a lot of these tokens like USTC, Luna, and all these, and you start seeing these massive big pumps, usually then it follows with the crash, and then we start seeing all the other tokens pump, which is actually quite funny. That's kind of the reason why I don't really focus on trading these tokens too much if I don't get the chance, because I do know that our turn will be coming, and that's kind of the same thing right now with Luna, Luna C. We see that it went from 27 back in December 4th, and now it's currently at 21. So it has dumped a lot, man. Literally it has dumped a little bit over 24%. So a lot of people got wrecked on this. I think I might have gotten wrecked too on this, to be honest. Moon Joker says, I feel like Pepe 2 will crash hard like Shiba then went into infinity. I don't think Pepe is gonna crash, man. And I think with Pepe 2, the problem is with Pepe 2 is that I feel like if it was to crash, I think Pepe 2.0 is done, man, to be honest. Like, I would say, like, if Pepe 2.0 was to dump, it's over for Pepe 2. So I don't think Pepe 2 has the room to go ahead and or the luxury to go ahead and crash one more time, and that's because I feel like Pepe 2.0 has crashed a lot already. You know what I mean? Like, if you measured it from, you know, when we were at right here at these tops to these bottoms, you know, it dumped 99%, 0.30. Like how much more than do they want to go ahead and push this down, right? It's like if they were to push this down right now and this thing was to go ahead and crash all the way down to 2s, I think this is going to be like the most bearish thing for Pepe 2, and I think more people would probably not trade Pepe 2 anymore. I feel like the community will die because the community is not even pumping, bro. Like, that's the problem with Pepe 2. Pepe 2 doesn't have the community. This is all being artificially pumped, and then we're having a lot of traders and whales jumping in, but this is all being artificially pumped, and this would kill Pepe 2. So if Pepe 2 was to go ahead and dump down to 23, which is about, I think, like 50% where it's at right now, or 70%, Pepe 2.0, in my opinion, will be completely done. The only reason why Grok could go ahead and pump and dump so much, like if you go ahead and measure where Grok was pumping to, I mean, Grok from the beginning pumped all the way up over 5,000%, 6,000%. Then it went ahead and retraced, and it took about a 78% retracement. Then it went ahead and it pumped again to a 700%, and then it dumped again with, I think, what, an 80% retracement. 73% retracement. The only reason why Grok could do this is because Grok has a community. Grok's community is so freaking bullish. So freaking bullish. And that's what people don't understand. Like, when the community's there and it's super, super bullish, people are going to go ahead and continue to hold and buy the dip. When the community's not there, the token's going to completely die off. And that's kind of like what we're seeing right now with Grok, and the reason why Grok is pumping so much, because of the fact that the community is freaking strong. And that's why I think this video that I just made earlier today, I did mention that Grok will go ahead and be approaching new higher highs, and that's definitely going to go ahead and pump all the other tokens. I mean, we talked about Grok 2.0, and as you can see, Grok 2.0 is up over 60%, or it says 73% right here in the last 24 hours. And we've been talking about Grok 2.0 literally these last couple of days, and I mentioned how this is, you know, high risk, high reward kind of play. But if we do go ahead and get Grok to go ahead and hit, you know, 1 billion market cap, I think Grok 2.0 could be hitting, you know, 30 to 100x, and I think that's kind of like my little moon bag. I threw in about $400 on Grok 2.0, and literally as soon as I bought, like, it literally dumped freaking 80%. But as I mentioned, it's a moon bag, right? So I'm really not too worried about what the price action is doing right now. I'm more focused on the long term. And if Grok has a narrative that a lot of people are hyping up about, I do believe that Grok 2.0 is going to do, you know, something very, very similar. So I think right now overall the market's looking pretty good. Do we need a correction? 100%. We do need a correction. We are needed for a correction. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I mean, we are seeing the DXY right now, you know, it did go up. It did actually make higher highs. Looking at the daily, it's let's see where the daily's at. It literally broke past where we thought it was going to get rejected at, you know. I mentioned that we would definitely want to go to see the DXY get rejected at the 103.687 and then come back down to like 102. But I mentioned there was also a possibility that we could actually go ahead and see the DXY retest 104.731, or even go as high as 105.817 before we see the market correct one more time. And obviously, you know, breaking past 105.831 will definitely go ahead and be more bearish in my opinion. But as I mentioned, I mean, Bitcoin's going up, dude, and the DXY is going up, and technically Bitcoin's supposed to be down. It has been doing the opposite. So realistically, Bitcoin's going to do whatever it wants. That's why I don't like to overanalyze the DXY too much, or Bitcoin, because the market's going to do whatever the market wants to do. And that's what more people need to go ahead and start understanding, that the market, we don't control the market. The big players control the market. The only thing you and I are here to do is ride the momentum, whether it's to the upside or it's to the downside. If we start going against the momentum, against the trend, that's when we start getting wrecked. If we're supposed to go long and we're going short, we're going to get wrecked. If we're supposed to be going short and we're going long, we're going to go get wrecked, right? So just follow what the big players are doing. And obviously the big players are pushing this price action up even higher. And regardless of whether Solana being overpriced, a lot of Bitcoin being overpriced, we do need a correction. I agree with you all. I'm not denying it. I've been talking about a correction for literally weeks, and we haven't gotten a correction, right? So we are destined for a correction, but it doesn't mean we need to have one. It's going to do whatever it wants to do. I was actually looking at this chart yesterday, which is actually quite interesting. And I saw right here that back on 2020, before we had the bull run, and we go ahead and actually measure this, we see that Bitcoin actually pumped all the way from $11,000 in October all the way up to $41,000. So that literally, what, it's over a 3 to 4x, and it topped off at $41,000, and in the correction at $41,000 after it had this pump. I mean, if you measure it from, let's just say, October to this pump right here, that was a 200% pump. That's a 2x, right? Which is a lot in Bitcoin. And then it dumped from here, from its top to this bottom. It corrected with a 30% correction, and actually talked about a 30% correction the last couple of days ago. I mentioned, hey chat, like, I don't think Bitcoin's gonna dump 50%, but I do think a 30% correction will be needed in the overall market in order for more investors and more traders to feel bullish about the market. So I do believe we do need a 30% correction on Bitcoin. This is what we've seen right here. When Bitcoin took off from December, from the beginning of December, from $19,000, riding the wave all the way up to $42,000, then, you know, dumping back down to $29,000. So almost literally dumped like a little bit over, you know, 25%, like 30%. And then the market from January, as soon as it dumped, it actually went up even higher. See, the thing is, I heard that supposedly the ETF is supposed to be getting announced of some sort of approval by January 8th or something like that in the beginning of the year. So maybe Bitcoin doesn't see a retracement, chat. Maybe it just freaking moons. And that's kind of the scary thing. It's a lot of people want answers, and a lot of people want, you know, should we long, should we short? Well, I don't know. You know what I mean? We're at levels right now that if this ETF is supposed to come out on, let's go ahead and see, Bitcoin ETF. If it's true, if it's supposed to come on January, then I don't know, maybe Bitcoin might just continue to pump. But I do believe that as soon as Bitcoin corrects, we are going to have altcoin season. And last bull run, we had altcoin season happen in the beginning of the year. So we had altcoin season begin in 2020. Or sorry, in the new year. Quarter 1 is what I meant. Quarter 1 was when altcoin season began back in 2020. I think that was leading into 2021, if I'm not mistaken. And that's what I think might be happening. I might have my years wrong, but I do know that Quarter 1 was when altcoin season began. That's when, you know, you had the whole entire SNL hype with Dogecoin. Dogecoin made new all-time highs. That's when altcoin season began. So who knows? I feel like the market's super delayed right now. I think like we're almost about a month or like half a month delay on crypto pumping. So it says right here, let's see, confirms for me that this was likely a move. Applicant up for a potential approval by January 10th, 2024 is the deadline. So the deadline is January 10th, 2024 to get some sort of ETF approval. If the ETF approval gets approved, I don't know, maybe Bitcoin freaking continues to pump. I don't know. Maybe it's a buy the rumor, sell the news. I mean, I believe Solana is freaking overpriced. And I like, honestly, like, for me, Solana is like a super risky territories right now. But I mentioned how it doesn't matter because you can go ahead and be trading tokens such as Bonk and be riding the wave. I mean, look at Solana right now. Solana on the, if you're looking at the 4-hourly, it's not too bad. But when you're looking at the daily, these are freaking like some kind of scary levels in my opinion, right? Like going long right here, it's really super risky territory without seeing some sort of retracement. I mean, we literally saw Solana pump from $22 from October all the way up to 213%, which is a 2x, without really retracing all the way until right here when it reached $50. So it literally went from $22, jumped all the way up to $68, almost breaking 79 or 70, and then it finally retraced down to 50. So it retraced only $10. So it pumped 200% just to dump $10. You can see how risky that thing is, but there's a reason why I'm mentioning, like, a lot of these tokens that I'm trading them on the shorter time frame. You know, I'm looking at the 4-hourly, the 15-minute chart, and if I am getting myself to that kind of exposure, I'm entering exposure on a token called Bonk, which is a Solana meme token that every time Solana pumps, Bonk does usually the same thing. And this one's literally the same thing. I mean, look how sketchy this thing looks. Like, to trade this is super risky, but look at this pump right here on this one. This has been over a 12x. From when Solana started pumping, this did a 12x. So Solana did a 200% pump, a 2x, and then Bonk, which is a Solana meme token, did a 200, or what was it? A 10x, a 12x, sorry, a 12x. Solana did a 2x, this thing did a 12x. And looking at Bonk, if you look at the total market cap, it's at 415 million. 415 million. Like, the Solana community is super bullish in Solana to begin with and Bonk, and I don't like Solana. Like, I'm really bearish on Solana. I think it's an overpriced crypto, but it doesn't matter. Like, I'm still gonna trade it. You know what I mean? Like, not because I believe that it's overpriced and it's overhyped, it doesn't mean I'm gonna short Solana, bro. That'd be the dumbest thing I could be doing. You know what I mean? As I mentioned, why would you want to go ahead and do the opposite of what's going on? Why would I short Solana when it's clearly going up and the momentum and the hype is there, regardless of whether the token's actually good or not? I think Solana's blockchain's trash. It's just my opinion. But yeah, it doesn't matter what I think. It's top 6. It's top 10. Why does it matter what John has to say about Solana when it's top 10 trending? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. That's where you have to go ahead and leave your ego to the side. You know, maybe you don't like Solana either, but I don't like it. It doesn't mean I'm not going to make money out of it. And that's kind of the outlook you want to have when it comes to a lot of these tokens, and understand this. So if you want to get exposure to trading Solana and actually make some money, like have a high risk, high reward, you're better off, in my opinion, jumping into Bonk. Because I think trading Solana, in my opinion, it's a high risk with a low reward. And I would rather expose myself to a high risk, high reward if I'm even going to put myself in that situation. And Bonk literally printed us money, you know, the last couple weeks as well. So Bonk is something that I think, in my opinion, is going to continue to go up, even though I think it's overpriced as well. I mean, look at this. Look at this chart right here. Do you feel comfortable buying something like this? I know I don't. But as I mentioned, if you know that Bonk moves with Solana, analyze the charts in Solana, and as I mentioned, it's not always one-to-one. There's always a delay. Sometimes Solana dumps, and then sometimes Bonk slightly pumps. You know what I mean? So just be careful with that. But with that being said, like, all these tokens are looking at, you know, super sketchy levels that I wouldn't be trading them. But because I understand the narrative, and I understand that Solana is super overhyped, I understand that Bonk's gonna pump. Are you, Dwayne says, are you bullish on Luna C? I mean, overall, I wouldn't say that I'm bullish overall. I'm just, honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I think Luna C is gonna pump just because people just like to go ahead and kind of be rebels. So I think Luna C is gonna pump. So I would say, you know, long term, I am bullish on Luna C. Would I go ahead and, you know, hold on to Luna C as an investment for retirement? I wouldn't do it. I'll just go ahead and ride the hype with the momentum of the volatility. So yeah, I am bullish on Luna C, but even right now we're at really, really risky territories, and I would just go ahead and wait for Luna C right now to go ahead and come down and find support. I think as soon as it does find support, I am going to go ahead and start being bullish and then start making videos about Luna C. But I would like to go ahead and see it retrace at least around this level, and then we could go ahead and see that it will be forming some sort of cup and handle. If it does retraces down to the 16 zone or even below, that'd be great. If we could go ahead and capture Luna C around these zones, which if you measure it from this top to this bottom, that'd be about a 60% dump, or even down to a 42% dump. So I would like to see a 60 to 42% dump in order for me to be bullish back again on Luna C. But it does look like a cup and handle pattern is forming, and I do believe we are currently way overextended, and we are due for a correction in order to go ahead and get the price action for Solana to pump. And if Solana, or sorry, not Solana, Luna C, if Luna C was to dump at these levels, you're looking at still an additional 300 to 400% pump, which is 3 to 4x from where the levels we just talked about. If it was to retrace from 60 to 80%, there's still a 300 to 400% upside. So I'm bullish on Luna C. I would definitely like to go ahead and see Luna C dump in order for me to go ahead and feel a little bit more comfortable into entering this market and getting better prices. But for me right now, I just wouldn't feel too comfortable longing Luna. And then the risky thing is too, is that shorting right now in this market, it's really risky as well. It's like you're better off making more money longing than shorting. I feel like shorts are getting more wrecked, and I only tell you because I've been shorting Luna C and Grok, and I do get into profits very quickly, but then the market reverses so fast that I literally lose my gains that I made off my short. Top 5 altcoins in 2024. My top 5 altcoins for 2024, I would go ahead and say first would be Solana, even though I hate Solana. I would also go ahead and say Unibot. It's one of the big ones. Unibot. Bitcoin Cash. I think you should have some exposure to Uniswap. So that's 4. And then my 5th one would be, I think my 5th one will probably, did I say Bitcoin Cash? I think I already did say Bitcoin Cash. If I didn't say Bitcoin Cash, it would be Bitcoin Cash. But if I did already say Bitcoin Cash, if I didn't say Bitcoin, I mean, if I did say Bitcoin Cash, I would say BNB. I think BNB is one of my top ones as well. Glenn says, I bought exactly 1 Solana at 35. That's freaking insane, man. Dadmaster says, Moon Joker, the altcoin season next year will be much bigger. This is just a warm-up. I agree with you. After the halving or before the halving, when can we see altcoin season? I think altcoin season, as I mentioned, I guess I might have forgotten, but as soon as Bitcoin tops. So we need to see Bitcoin top somewhere, and as I mentioned, Bitcoin topped actually in the beginning of the year of the first year in January. That's when Bitcoin began to top. But the thing is, the only difference is that we're having an ETF. So maybe the market pumps higher and we see Bitcoin pump, you know, to $60,000 before we see a retracement, which would make a lot of sense if you really think about it, honestly, because this is a massive cup and handle pattern. I mean, look at this. This is a massive cup and handle pattern. Look at that. So realistically, Bitcoin could go ahead and continue to pump even as high as 60,000 before we go ahead and see a retracement down to 37,000 or even $45,000, which if you go ahead and measure it from that top to the bottom, from 60,000 to 44,000, that's about almost a 30% retracement, as I mentioned. And if we go ahead and measure it from $38,000, it's a 36% retracement, so almost 40%. So realistically, Bitcoin could just continue to go up all the way up to $60,000 before we see a retracement. And as soon as we see Bitcoin top off and Bitcoin dominance has topped and it's finally exhausted, that's when altcoin season begins. So I do think that a lot of people are in such a disbelief rally. I was one of those, and I think now that I mentioned Bitcoin being at $43,000 now, it kind of tells me and gives me hope that we are in a bull run season. And I think that's going to happen a lot quicker as soon as we break past $45,000. As soon as we break past $45,000, I think we're going to go ahead and see a parabolic run all the way up to $60,000 and above. And as soon as we go ahead and get that, we need to go ahead and focus on Bitcoin dominance. So taking a look at Bitcoin dominance right now, typically they say that when Bitcoin dominance reaches 70%, that's when altcoin season begins. And I mentioned that when meme coin season begins, we need to go ahead and see Bitcoin go down to a 47% retracement or 47% dominance in order for meme tokens to go ahead and pump. So we still have a lot of money to be made. This is kind of the reason why I'm not too worried about, the money that I just lost. I know a lot of people are freaking out because of money they have lost or the opportunities they're losing, but don't worry about it. In my opinion, I still think we still have a lot of room left. I mean, if you go ahead and measure Bitcoin dominance, this is on the monthly, we're only about 30% of reaching that 70%. So we're around the corner. So that means, start getting ready for altcoin season as well. We might consider, stacking up, looking at the charts for a lot of these tokens that people are not putting their attention to. And as soon as people start paying attention, you and I are going to be making money and selling, hopefully at the top, right? And that's the goal. So the goal would be, stacking up on altcoins right now, looking for entries, longing, but I do believe that that's going to be coming very, very soon. And I think that's going to be coming in early January. So in the beginning of Q1. So we're going to have January, February, March, and April. That is going to be 4 months of altcoins just freaking pumping. We're going to go ahead and take a breather. And then leading into summer season is when around May and June and July is when meme tokens are going to start to pump. And I'm telling you based on what we've noticed and what we've seen, right? So that's what I think might happen. Or maybe, meme tokens pump again back in October, But as I mentioned, altcoin season typically pumps around 70%. And we're not there yet. Unless we go ahead and check the Bitcoin rainbow chart. Let's go ahead and check this real quick. Altcoin season index. You could also go ahead and check altcoin season index. If you go to blockchaincenter.net and you go over right here where it says blockchain season index, and it says right here that Bitcoin right now is at 37%. I don't know when this thing updates though. I would say we're getting closer. It says right here 75% is altcoin season. So right now this is Bitcoin season. As you can see, Bitcoin's at 25. So right now this is the time for Bitcoin to go ahead and shine before we have altcoin season. Apparently from this chart it says right here that we're at a 37. And if you look at the monthly, it looks like altcoin season has already slightly hit. Actually, we had somewhat of an altcoin season back in November 24 is what it says, a small little altcoin season. That kind of makes sense, right? Because we actually did see a lot of the alts pumping, and then we saw, then Bitcoin taking over. So we are having many seasons here in between, but on the yearly, it looks like we're not there yet. The yearly, we're still at Bitcoin season, and the yearly is we have to go ahead and be looking at this at the 75, I guess. So I didn't know that. See, I didn't know. I thought altcoin season was just all in general. And I guess not. I guess on the monthly, you could have temporary altcoin seasons, which we just had, and it makes sense. I mean, we had Solana pump 200%. We have Luna C pump like crazy. We see big time pumping like 100 to 200%. So it makes sense, It makes sense that there is different. See, I didn't even know that. So now I learned something new. So I guess if you head over to blockchaincenter.net and you head over to altcoin season index, you can go ahead and choose between the yearly, the monthly, and the actual altcoin season, right? And so there's different seasons for this, meaning there's different opportunities for us to make money. If you miss, you know, the mini altcoin season we just had in November, you still have room for the yearly altcoin season, which we're not even there yet. I mean, look, it's barely at 14, and altcoin season on the yearly is at needs to hit 75. So we have been hitting mini meme coin seasons, mini bull runs, and that's what I've been saying all around. But I never knew this thing was being able to get indexed like that. So that's really, really cool. Now at least I learned something new today. Moon Joker says, after the halving or before the halving, we can see altcoin season. Glenn says, John, hold a small bag of hello for this bull run. Just put a little bit on a trade profits in there for me. Bet. Hello. Let's go ahead and see hello. I believe hello was it was being traded on MEXC, right? Yeah, this one's gonna be a pretty bullish one too. Is it this one right here, Glenn? If not, go ahead and provide the smart contract. That'd be great. JB78, how's Grok doing? Grok's doing pretty good, man. Grok's up 29%. I was actually just talking about Grok earlier. I talked about how we actually just hit this Fibonacci retracement right here. Typically on the Fibonacci retracement, it gives us a sign that as long as it continues to hold at the 618, which we currently are right now, we are going to go ahead and continue to see a massive pump to the upside. So on the Fibonacci retracement, we are on the 618, and so far we have been holding this area of support multiple times, once, twice, 3 times, and 4 times, and then now we had this breakout. I actually made a video about this and I uploaded it today. It was called Grok is Done, and I was actually talking about how this reversal, we were literally on the thin line right now of, you know, Grok dumping all the way down, you know, 80% or pumping, and now that we are actually holding the support, it looks like Grok is going to go ahead and make new all-time highs. So be on the lookout for Grok making over a 500% pump, which is a 3 to 5x in the short term. And the other leading factor right now that's making nice gains for any of those that jumped in and bought the dip is Grok 2.0. Grok 2.0, I talked about this a while back too. You go back to my channel, I've actually talked about it 4 days ago. After I talked about it, it literally dumped 80%. But look, right now it's back up at 58%. And I mentioned how if Grok hype continues to go on, Grok 2.0 is going to be the next play, and I do think Grok 2.0 is going to hit a 30 to 100x. This is kind of like my little moon bag that I'm just holding, and I'm just going to go ahead and wait till we hit that 30 to 100x and then cash out. And to me, risking $300 to $400 is worth the risk. That's a 13 to a $40 or $30,000 play right there if it does hit, you know, 30 to 100x. So yeah, I do think Grok is going to be very, very bullish, and I think it's just because of all the narrative of the hype, but most importantly because the community is really, really strong. And that's the thing with Grok right now, that people are love Grok. They're going to follow Grok because it's, especially, I guess you could say, an Elon inspired token, and the community is very, very strong. So I think Grok's going to continue to pump. And what I would go ahead and say, for me right now, I'm not risking too much on Grok just because I lost a lot of money. If I do enter on Grok, I will be trading it on MEXC, which, by the way, is one of my preferred platforms. If you want to support the channel, use my link down below. No KYC, and literally takes less than 3 seconds to create an account. But on Grok, I will be trading this on MEXC with leverage, and then Grok 2.0 is more like my little moon bag. You know, I put in $400, and for me, risking $400 is well worth the risk. You know, if it 30x's, I'll be making about $12,000, and that's not including all my other trades that I have. Right? That means that's just like money to the side. That's gonna be like pocket change for me if Grok does pump and Grok 2.0 does for a 30 to 100x. If it does 100x, I'll be making $40,000. So for me, it's worth risking $400 to make potentially $13,000 to $40,000, and then just have that money to the side while I'm still trading. So just in case, like, you know, whatever happens, I at least, oh snap, you know, I found some pocket money here. Like, I have $13,000 still to my name. You know what I mean? And that's kind of like what I'm using Grok 2.0 as. It's for me, I think Grok is really, really risky. risky. I wouldn't be buying this on a decentralized exchange. I think the upside is not that big. At the most, you're probably getting an additional 5 to 10x, which to me is not worth the risk. As opposed to if you were to throw your money on Grok 2.0, you have less risk with more exposure. Meaning, in order for you to make, you know, big money on Grok 2.0, even if it 10x's, if you put in $5,000, you're risking a lot more money potentially, even if it does even hit a 5x, right, or a 10x, as opposed to with Grok 2.0. Just with Grok pumping a little bit even higher and making new all-time highs, this thing has a potential from, if we measure it from where it's at right now to its top, just measuring it short term, you can go ahead and see that this is on the daily, so it doesn't really show it. But if you go ahead and see this thing has a higher potential to the upside than to the downside on this end right here, just because we've already dumped a lot. Let's see how high we're at. You're talking about if you measure it from this top to this bottom. On the short term, we have a 3x right here. So for me, it's like I would rather risk my money on Grok 2.0 and make the same kind of money on Grok 2.0 than I would with Grok. Look, if you were to risk, you know, $100 right now or $1,000, you'll make 300%, which is a 3x in the short term, meaning in the next couple weeks. Longer term, midterm, you're going to be destined to get a 10x, and I think a 10x and above is it's definitely going to happen in my opinion. But as I mentioned, the $400 that I have in there, I'm not checking them every day. I'm not day trading them. I'm not swing trading them. I just have them in there sitting. And I'm just going to go ahead and patiently wait and let Grok do its thing. And if Grok dies and it can't break 150 million market cap plus, well, then I only lost $400. But if Grok pumps, then I'm going to make a boatload of money. But if you were to have that kind of money on Grok original and you had $1,000 or $10,000, it's just, to me, it's just not worth the risk. To me, I always ask the risk to reward factor, and I think Grok is at a very high risk with a low reward at the moment. It's at very, very high levels. Can it hit $1 billion market cap? Yeah, but that's only a 9x. Only a 9x. And Grok, you'll be having less risk with a higher exposure, meaning you could turn, you know, a couple $100s into thousands of dollars without having to put that risk on the table. If you're wrong, if you're willing to, you know, if you're willing to risk $1,000 on Grok original just to make a 9x, to me, it just doesn't make any sense, because you don't even know if it's going to hit a 9x. Maybe only hits a 3x or a 5x. But if Grok 2.0 pumps with Grok, because Grok does, let's say, 200 million market cap plus, Grok 2.0 is probably going to do a 10x off of that pump. I mean, look at this right here. Grok is up 31%, and this thing was up slightly, a little bit over 62% on the 24-hour. Glenn says it just moved off the 200 MA on 4-hour. It kind of looks like it could move soon. Yeah, I think Grok's going to go ahead and pump, bro. So I'm really, really bullish on Grok overall. I think Grok's definitely going to go ahead and do some numbers. But yeah, everything's looking pretty bullish. I mean, I kind of started the live stream a little bit early today. Really didn't start my day, I'm going to be honest with you. I just wanted to go ahead and go quickly on live and take advantage of this this hype that we have going on, and, you know, spend some time together. But with that being said, I do have to go ahead and end the live stream now. I do have a meeting to go ahead and take, so I do appreciate every one of you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, go ahead and smash that like button for me. It's completely free. It does help support the channel. And as always, if you also want to go ahead and help support me, go ahead and use my MEXC link down below. $20,000 in sign-up bonuses, no KYC, and literally takes less than 3 seconds to create an account. Do expect a lot more content coming forward for me. I will be live streaming twice a day now, at least for these next couple days, and I will be uploading more content. So definitely go ahead and smash that subscribe button for me if you are brand new to the channel. And you know, if you want to go ahead and see a YouTuber that, you know, goes live twice a day or even uploads 3 to 4 videos a day, I'm the guy, man. I'm the guy. So I really appreciate every one of you, and I'll see you later on today. I am going to go ahead and be live streaming, right? So I'll see you very, very soon. Take care.